Okay, today we're playing a game on Nepal. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Moira the entire way through. And our current team composition is Winston, D.Va, Reaper, Genji, Moira, and Zenyatta. So there's nothing on our team that can really kill Pharah, which is always concerning to me, team comp-wise, so there's that. This would have been post-Mercy nerf. It has to be. Unless this video was recorded way before I got the email. This has to be post-Mercy nerf, so not much to say about it other than we don't have anything that can kill Pharah, and that concerns me a lot. Oh, there weren't any specific questions in the email, but specific feedback being looked for was ult usage and fade usage, so we'll try to keep an eye on that as the game goes on. There is something with fade fairly early on. The cat's here, as you might have noticed. I'm sure he's going to want to be here for a really long time, as always. So, we're on Village, my favorite map in the entire game. Ooh, I love it. So we do go forward, like, really aggressively right here. Like, we do have fade, so, like, fair enough. But we walk forward really aggressively, and it, like, gets us nothing, and if, like, something with crowd control comes around that corner, we fucking die, so that's scary. But unlikely to happen, but it can happen. So they have a Pharah, which is, you know, sad for us, but because we don't really have anything that can kill Pharah super consistently, but, ooh, we bullied her. We, collectively as a team, we bullied her. So we were standing, like, right in front of the enemy team. We're tunnel visioning on this Pharah really badly, and we're just walking into the enemy team, basically. It's, you gotta think about where the rest of the team is. We've just slowly been walking our way into them the whole time. So, fight's going okay, though. Zenyatta's almost dead. We don't want him to die. Don't really need to fade after him, probably right there to keep up with him. But we did, anyway, and it's not like we're likely to get punished at this point. So here, we walk at Baby D.Va in a straight line, which is bad juju. Generally, you don't want to walk at the people you're killing anyway, because usually it doesn't gain you anything, but D.Va might... Yep, there goes the cat. D.Va might walk around the corner. So we kind of don't want to lose her, so that's fair enough. But don't walk at someone in a straight line, because it's really easy to just go ding, 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 dead. If they're paying attention, they notice you're walking at them in a straight line. And Baby D.Va can kill you pretty quickly if she scores a lot of headshots. I mean, that's true of, like, every hero, isn't it? But so fade use. Here, we go forward with fade really aggressively, probably to try and get to Genji so he doesn't die. We're not full health right now, and we just fade into a bunch of people and get killed for that one. So that's just way too aggressive. If Genji's gonna... You're more important than Genji. Don't overextend and use your cooldowns and everything to try and keep Genji alive, because you're more important than Genji. So we just use fade way too aggressively and die. And then, oh no, now they're left here with just Zenyatta as a healer. Isn't that just the most tragic thing imaginable? Oh no, we shouldn't be here. We just shouldn't even be scuffling here at all. We live with 1 hit point, not even close, baby. Like, that fight was over. There was no reason for us to go over there. Use your healing orb. You can get the orbs off cooldown. Just throw the orb down the alleyway and you won't die. Or just throw it backwards and walk with it and you won't die. No need to... Could have averted this death. Could have averted it by also just leaving sooner, but we also had our orb up and we can use the healing orb and retreat with it so that we don't die. If you're prepared to use all of your cooldowns selfishly, you can kite people back really far. But, ideally that doesn't end up happening. Oh, we're on the console. We're on the Xbox. Consider yourself warned. So, Zarya was all the fuck way over there, and she's just been pinned in a corner and bullied to death, so that's very productive of her. Pharah is dead. Great. We've got Coalescence. I just use Coalescence right here. Our team's going in. Coalescence. It's one of those ults that you just want to throw out there as soon as possible. We're currently 1 for 1. We traded, we lost Zarya, but they lost Pharah. Zarya's gonna get back slightly quicker probably, because she died way sooner. But our team's gonna go in. If your team's gonna go in, just use Coalescence, honestly, because you want to use it to try and hit as many of your team and the enemy team as possible, and that is most easily done right at the start of the fight, and your team can go in with the healing off of it, because it's 140 health per second, plus the regen that it applies as well. So they can go in with the very big healing, and then you're doing damage the whole time. We use it now, and we're largely just using it to kill people at this point, which is often what people do with Coalescence, but the goal is really to hit your team and the enemy team as much as possible. We're in a little bit of an awkward location for that one there, but we basically only use it to kill people. The goal is to hit your team and the enemy team with it. Your team is typically more important with Coalescence, because it has double the healing compared to the damage, because it's 70 damage per second, 140 health per healing per second. But if you can kill someone with it as well, feels good. We're just gonna bully this Mercy to death, you know. There's not much she can do about that one, really. Unless she's gonna kill us really quickly, which she might not be able to, actually. I don't know if the blaster does enough damage that she can kill you unless she has flawless accuracy and headshots you. Because the blaster, you know, does damage, but it doesn't do, like, a lot of damage. Has 33 health per second. There's too much math. That's too much math to get into right there. Oh, good heavens. Alright, so Reaper just got picked off. McCree just got picked off. Zenyatta's looking pretty dead. I think that was who got pushed in there? Yeah, Zenyatta's looking pretty... Oh, no, it's Genji. Never mind. He's fine. So, we didn't have to do anything to win this fight. Genji's using his ultimate. We just fade out of the graviton. No problem. Someone's over here touching the point. It's Moira, all by her lonesome, so she's being a very productive member of her team right now. D.Va over here. We fade after her pretty aggressively, but it is almost impossible to get punished for that because D.Va just flew away and everybody else was dead. So, McCree just got picked off. Really bad for them. We've got Coalescence. That's really good for us. D.Va's coming back. We've managed to kill Mercy despite never actually seeing her. Good job, Damage Orb. Feels good. Now we're going to bully D.Va to death. At this point, fight games rounds basically over, but then, oh no, we get span on. So, basically what the issue here is we see Reaper going in. We haven't seen Reaper use his ultimate all game, so this is not terribly surprising this happens. I imagine the thought process here was I'll fade onto the point so I can contest it. We don't want to fade right next to Reaper because he can just kind of kill you anyway. But he ults right next to us. Now, as we can see, it did not fucking matter at all. Even though he killed 4 members of our team, he fucking left the objective anyway, and the rest of his team were bad. So, it didn't matter in the end. You don't really want to fade right next to somebody as Moira, because usually it's only making it easier for them to kill you. Damage Beam's range is 20 meters. Healing Beam's range is 15 meters, by the way. Same as Mercy's, actually. But, you don't gain anything from being closer to people. Yeah, I guess it makes it easier to hit them, but, like, it's not that hard to hit people with Moira's right-click anyway. The goal is just to be far away, because you being closer to people usually just makes it easier for them to kill you. It doesn't really gain you anything. Now, if you did more damage for being closer to people, fucking let's go scratch them, fucking hell, but no, sadly not. So, throw the damage orb over there. Often ends up getting eaten by the enemy team's D.Va if they have one. Surprisingly, that doesn't happen. They're just all going that way instead. They did have a D.Va as well, though. So we've taken a bunch of damage right now. Are we queued with the Zenyatta? I think we're queued with Zenyatta, aren't we? Pretty sure he had a different colored arrow. The point I'm building up to here is that we really don't want to be poking our face out in front of the enemy team. That's Genji. I think we're queued with Zenyatta. We don't want to be poking our face out at 100 health, because that's really easy to die, and then we're walking right next to this McCree as well, who could, like, flashbang us and kill us. We didn't get punished for it at all, but we could have been. We were walking around at half health, which is really easy to suddenly die at that health. Ideally, the other healer heals you, but if not, just use the healing orb. Like, it's not great to use the healing orb, but it's better than poking your face out at, like, half health, where you can just suddenly die. And that's especially bad when you're the main healer. You definitely don't want to die when you're the main healer on your team, because you don't want to leave your teammates with just a Lucio or a Zenyatta to heal them, because that's really sad for all parties involved. Are we in a 6-man? No, we're in a 4-man. We are with the Zenyatta. Tell Zenyatta to put the healing orb on you. There we go. That's the point I was building up to earlier. But I couldn't remember if we were queued with Zenyatta or not. We weren't. Yell at him to put the Harmony Orb on you. So their Moira's over there being extremely productive once again. D.Va's gone and made it as awkward as possible for us to heal her. We threw the damage orb a bit misaligned, unfortunate. Oh, Moira shouldn't have done that. She's, like, looking down here, backed right up into more danger. So, the enemy team are giving us a lot of help, at this current point in time, because they're just sort of, there's like one person over here, there's like two people over here, don't use Fade to catch up to this boy, because he's right there. Healing beam's 15 meters, you can basically reach this dude from right here, and he's like gonna run towards you as well. There's no need to use Fade to get closer to him, because you're already basically in range. And, I've made this mistake before, where I've faded up to somebody because I've been like, fuck, I need to heal him now, and then I've been like, floating around them, like, oh shit. And then by the time I come out of Fade, they're already dead. You don't wanna use Fade to close the gap to heal somebody, if at all possible. Often, like, really, using Fade to get closer to people you heal is worse than just throwing the healing orb at them, in most cases, because Fade is very important cooldown, because if you get caught with Fade on cooldown, you die. So, even if you could Fade up to somebody to heal them, usually you're better off just throwing the healing orb at them if you think you're not going to make it to them in time. So this is like a very poor use of Coalescence, because as we established already, we don't really want to use it just for healing or just for damage. We want to use it for both, ideally. But they're also in a position where, like, it's not going to do anything. They're all bunched up together. They're near things they can use for cover. We're on low ground, firing up to high ground. They're just going to heal through it, because 70 damage per second is, like, not that obscene, really. Like, it's a lot, but you can heal through it. Cat's back. Say hello to the cat, everyone. He was going to leave again in a minute, I have no doubt. But you don't want to use Coalescence just for doing damage, unless you're going to use it and kill, like, their Mercy with it. That's, like, if you can use like, you don't want to use it just for damage unless you can kill somebody really important on their team with it. Or your Zarya catches them in the Graviton, then you're going to use it, because, I mean, yeah. But really, you're looking to heal and do damage with Coalescence. You know, let me just repeat myself for about the 18th time already, you know. So, quite a few of them are actually already dead, so we've basically already won this fight. Fade's on cooldown and we're in a spooky place. Why has this happened? Oh no, don't do that. I think the idea there, I think, was to try and kill their Moira. Don't Fade, like, right like that, because you're very easy to kill when Fade is on cooldown. So if the enemy team sees you Fade in really aggressively like that, what they can do is just all turn around and kill you. And, you know, whether or not they do that is going to vary from game to game, but a play that revolves around the enemy team not playing correctly, or the enemy team playing badly, is itself a bad play, so don't do that. You're not an assassin as Moira. This is very tragic use of Coalescence. She's fine. She's fine. If D.Va loses her mech, like, oh no, the horror, don't do that. We can use it to, like, drill into this D.Va as well, but there was, like, no reason to use Coalescence right there. She was fine, and we don't want to use it just to heal one person. That's very tragic. There's another point I was partway through making, but I've forgotten what it was, so it couldn't have been that important. Oh yeah, don't Fade aggressively, because, well, you can Fade aggressively, but don't Fade aggressively in front of the entire enemy team. Because people make this mistake, where they're like, oh, Fade's a 6-second movement ability with invulnerability attached to it, that's really strong. And they think about it compared to, like, Winston's jump, where you can use it really aggressively like that. The thing is, Winston's got 500 hit points and a bubble. You've got 200 hit points and no shields. So it's, doesn't really compare that favorably. You really don't want to use it aggressively unless you know you're going to get a big payoff. So we lost this fight because, their D.Va killed like 3 people with, self-destruct. And they started reinforcing partway through the fight, so basically, it's over. It's alright. You know, they're only at 50%. We've still got another round anyway, so we're not overly concerned about it right now. We're most of the way towards Coalescence again, because boy does this ultimate charge quickly. I'm very disappointed in your choice of Moira skin. The David Bowie skin is really fucking ugly. Granted, I don't like any of Moira's skins except Pale. That's it, though. All of her skins are ugly. Please, Blizzard. So, like, Tracer, she's trying really hard, but she lacks the skill to do so. So, that's like the kind of situation where I'd think about using the healing orb, because I don't trust other people often, and I don't want to walk out in front of the enemy team, like, this low, basically. But it ends up not mattering, and Zenyatta puts the Harmony Orb on us anyway. So here again, we're being really aggressive. That's the point I was actually going to make. It's not your job to kill people as Moira. It's your job to heal people. So you don't, like, the aggressive plays are not yours to make. You're meant to, like, be sitting with your front line, behind your front line, but, like, with the front line. And let them, like, let your team go do the killing. Your job is to keep people alive. Healing is your #1 priority, and then doing damage is secondary to that. So as you can see, this fight is going really badly for a bunch of reasons, and they have like 12,000 ultimates, so like, Zenyatta's coming in, it's all over. Nope, push back as well, feels bad, man. So, we lost that round, that's okay. We've got another round to play with. It's Sanctum. Sanctum's like one of my favorite maps in the entire game, actually, so I'm stoked to be here. I also enjoy, well, I enjoy the King of the Hill maps, basically, because I like to fight people. And King of the Hill is very close to basically being deathmatch. So, but I hate Village, and I hate Garden, because people do stupid things on those maps, is the short end of it, basically. So we all decide that we're gonna go this way, which is fine. We're a relatively short-range team. We've got Soldier on our team, but, you know, it's fine. However, we get flanked by Pharah. Oh no, feels bad, man. Like, the rounds just changed, but they've had a Pharah this entire time. Pharah is probably not gonna come right through that doorway. Like, I've started making this point, and I'm like, this is not realistic to expect Pharah to be flanking you right there, honestly. I started going down this train of thought, and I'm like, no, this is too many steps. This is too many degrees of separation. Like, sometimes you get fucked by a flank. You should be looking for a flank, but, like, you're focusing on the front line, sometimes you're gonna get fucked by a flank. It's just how it is. I was like, well, we know they have a Pharah. Pharah's not gonna... I'm like, no, this is already taking too many steps to get to knowing this. It's not reasonable for somebody to know this. Maybe at, like, the high end, but, like, we're in Plat. We've got bigger issues to worry about, really, right now. So, this one we can avoid. We, see Lucio right there, the enemy Lucio. Enemy Lucio goes through that doorway. Again, we fade up to catch up to Reinhardt. We really don't want him to die, but we just saw Lucio go in the doorway on the left, and then we go in front of the other doorway really close to the edge. So that's a fairly simple one. You see Lucio go through that doorway, logically he's going to come out the other doorway or the same doorway and try to push somebody off the edge. So you don't want to be standing near the edge after seeing that, because you'll get pushed off and die. I'm alright with using the Fate to catch up to Reinhardt to try and heal him, because we really don't want him to die, but you gotta stay further away from the edge, basically. Bear in mind, also, they have a Pharah, and Pharah can bump you off the edge from very far away very suddenly, so in general, we want to try and avoid standing near the edge if we're standing on the objective, because she can push us off as well. Oh, oh, gosh, so much math. Oh my god, let's just watch that. Oh, feels good. Oh. She didn't know she saw that coming, like, oh god, no, please, please no, please no. Oh. It warms my heart. So, we're fighting up here right now. This is fine. People tend to think, like, fighting up here is, like, overextending. This is, like, what you do, honestly, because now we can start using this doorway as a choke point, which is perfectly fine. Reinhardt fucks up his Earth Shatter, which is really sad. We hear McCree using his ultimate, which is really scary. He couldn't really see us, but we've lost Reinhardt, we've lost Soldier, then Roadhog died as well. Correct play right now is either leave or throw yourself off the edge so they don't get any ult charge from killing you. Once like 2 people on your team are dead, it's kind of over. Then when more people start dying, it's really over and you just want to get out. We're not really going to get out right there, so just like face plant into the pit. And the reason to do that over just dying is so they don't get any ult charge from killing you. It can matter. We've walked forward really aggressively right now. They're focusing a lot of damage into this doorway, and we just kind of walk out to throw our damage orb out, and we get fucked for it. Don't walk so aggressively. That's why I get paid the big bucks. So, we've got Coalescence, which is cool and all. This is a bit of an awkward point to use it on, because as soon as you start using it, like, every motherfucker on the map is going to be trying to push you off the edge. And your team tends to be kind of spread out on this map, and, like, going in and out of doorways. Oh, it's very inconvenient. Their Pharah is still, like, largely uncontested, except by us, basically. Whatever, if we kill the Pharah is dead, that's all that really matters. A lot of things happening all at once right now. Oh, fuck. I don't really, like, don't use Coalescence in, like, this super confined location, because it's just gonna be hard to get it to work. We faded in. Why did we fade in? Let's try and save Reinhardt, isn't it? Don't do that. He's dead. Don't. That's a fade that's too aggressive. We don't want Reinhardt to die, but that's a fade that's a little too optimistic and a little too aggressive. You don't really want to use Coalescence in, like, that confined location, either. Bearing in mind Coalescence's range is 30 meters, so you can stand on, like, the outer rim and fire all the way through that doorway anyway. Like, it's no, 30 meters is fucking long, dude. So, the thing I'm thinking about right now, while this is going on, oh, fucking hell, stolen, but, like, D.Va actually got that, but she got a lot more points off of, hitting people. The thing I'm thinking about right now is just in the email that it says, in reference to fade, because I find that many times when I fade away from danger, I still end up dead. I don't think that's the issue. The issue seems to be more that you're fading into danger quite a lot. Like, don't always get punished for it, but sometimes do get punished for it. Like, just fading in really aggressively and getting punished for it in some situations. In some situations, you didn't get punished for it, but you should have gotten punished for it. Like that one on Shrine, where we, like, skated around the point to try and kill their Moira. Like, the issue isn't fading away and still dying. The issue is the fading in too aggressively. Cause it feels like we faded in way more than we faded out. Like, I'm trying to think of when we did fade out. There's like a couple times, like on Village and such, but like, we fade in way more than we fade out. Like, you've gotta be, you can fade forward aggressively. I think in general people are too afraid to fade forward aggressively, but like, you have to know you're not gonna get punished for it, because you are really easy to kill when fade is on cooldown. So, if you're gonna fade forward aggressively, you gotta know you're not gonna get punished for it, and we, like, fade after people to try and heal them in a lot of situations. Like, just throw the healing orb at them instead, because fade is, like, a more important cooldown than the damage orb is, because fade is what keeps you alive. Damage orb gets you more ult charge, but the ult charge doesn't matter if you die, you know? So, if you feel like you can't walk up to somebody quickly enough, like, throwing the healing orb at them is usually better than fading after them, because if they're in danger, like, think about it this way. If they're in a position where you feel like you have to fade in to get to them quicker to heal them, that means they're in a fucking lot of danger, probably, and you're fading closer to that danger to try and save them. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be close to the danger. Like, that person's clearly in mortal peril, and you're gonna put yourself right next to the same thing that's causing them to be in mortal peril. You don't want that. Just throw the healing orb at them instead. It travels faster than you. And you won't die for throwing the healing orb at someone. If you fade in too aggressively, you will die. And coalescence-wise, like, we basically, it looks like we use it with the reasoning, I'm gonna do damage with it, basically, every time. And like, yeah, that's part of the ultimate. It has a dual function. But the goal is to hit multiple people with it. This is why it's usually best used, like, as a fight's starting or just before a fight is starting, because your team can go in with the healing, like a sound barrier-like effect, and you're doing damage while they're going in. They're probably moving back to try and get away from your coalescence, because they don't want to just stand there and take it on the chin. Like, sometimes you'll use it for just damage or just healing, yeah, but those are, like, relatively outlier situations where it's like, I can kill someone important with coalescence, or a lot of my team are taking damage, so I'm going to use coalescence. But, like, usually you're trying to hit both teams with it. So just try and bear that in mind when using coalescence. Is like, I want to get full value out of this ultimate, so I want to hit both teams with it. And fade less aggressively. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. Join our Discord if you haven't already. I can never tell because people's names on Discord are completely different to the email. You can ask questions more directly or just shitpost with us, as we often do. And I hope you found the video helpful.